In this video, we're going to be assembling a metal cache box. This is a fire retardant cache box, double layered walls. It has a locking key. It's not fireproof, it's fire retardant. And when we're all done with this, what we're going to have is we're going to have holes drilled through the side of this cache box with these metal compression fittings. Our wires will pass through here to the inside of the box. The battery will be in there. That's where it'll be when it's charging. And outside the box will be our charging equipment. Some other parts that we're going to use today is a battery extension cable. It's going to reach inside the box of the battery, out through the hole to the charger. And then also this cable with a little circuit board. This is a balancing cable, essentially to balance the cells in the battery pack so that they're all the same voltage. That's also important as well. And then here we have a little bit of foam. When the box is not in use, this piece of foam will be inside the box. We'll have cutouts to hold our charging equipment. If you would make one of these boxes yourself, make the cutouts in the foam to match the charging equipment that you have. All right, we're back from the garage and we got some holes drilled in here to accept those connectors. Now they're not pretty, but they'll do the job. And also when the connectors are installed, they'll cover up those holes a little bit, the edges, so you won't see that. I did want to show you that with these connectors, there's a nut that goes on here. It's called a spanner nut. And it's got little bumps on it. And there's a special wrench for that called a spanner wrench. I don't know anybody that's ever bought one. You just could take a screwdriver and tap on these little nuts when you're tightening it down. Most of it you can tighten down by hand. But when you get to the end and you want to snug it down, you can tap those little buttons there. All right, so let's go ahead and get this put in here. A little elbow grease. Alright, so more or less, not sure the camera can see that, but more or less it's in there now. So I'm just going to tighten down these little nubs, tighten down the nut by hitting on these little nubs. So that's good enough for now. So basically I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side, put the other one in. Alrighty. Just pushing on the nubs with the spanner nut a little bit here. Okay, that's good. So we're going to stop there. Actually, no, I think I'll go ahead and get these wires installed. Go ahead and push those through right now. It'll be a snug fit, especially with this one here, but I believe we can get it to go. Perfect, nice and snug, that way it's not going to come out of there. So that's that one. And this one I'm just going to fold over slightly like that so that I can fit it through the hole. Wrong way. Circuit board goes inside the box. So here's the basic setup that we're going to have inside this box. I'll just slip the hammer under the end so maybe you can see that better. Now in a moment I'm going to be getting double-sided foam tape. And I'm going to be gluing this little circuit board right here. That's where that's going to live. And let me see if I can grab my battery real quick. No, I guess it's not handy. You'll see it when we get it all put together. But right now I'm going to be putting double-sided foam tape behind there. And when I come back, I'll have the battery. I have the charger. I'll have it all set up. I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, we're back. And I'm not sure exactly where we left off, so I'm going to recap a little bit. We drilled our holes. We put those silver metal colored through hole connectors in there. We ran our wiring through, used double mounted foam tape to install that little circuit board. By the way, you'll notice it has a lot of little connectors on it. They're each different sizes. So depending on which battery you have and how many cells are in that battery, you'll use a different port. So that's the basic setup. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and actually hook up our battery. Got it right here. We're just going to go ahead and charge that and show you. Nice and stiff like it should be. Okay, so that's all plugged in. Just kind of sits there real nice. Go ahead and hook our battery in. And find the appropriate port size for this. I'll have to take a look here for a minute. I believe it's that one. Alrighty. So I see my balance connectors there, and I'm not sure how well you can see this tiny screen, or if you'll be able to see it all in the video. But essentially, it tells me my battery voltage, 12.39 volts right now. And this is a 3-cell battery, so cells 1 through 3 are showing, and they're basically, one of them's 4.12, 3.13, 4.13, and 4.14. So they're balanced. But I'm going to go ahead and tell it to charge for just a second, just to demonstrate it, even though it doesn't need it. So there we go, it's beginning to charge. So what you would do is you could close this top, lock it if you'd like, you know. So now if that battery does have a fire, it's going to do so inside this fire retardant cache box. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, you're going to see that we've cut the piece of foam to hold my equipment when it's stored in here. In addition to that, I may add some foam where these wires go through, just to make it slightly more airtight. Even though without that, it would be a great improvement over just charging on your workbench with no protection. I still may do that. So that's it for now. We'll be back in a few minutes with the foam cut out. All right, we're back, and we cut our foam. We've got it assembled in there. We've got all our charging equipment inserted into the foam. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you now. You can see it. I'm going to take everything out of there. I'm going to set it up to charge the battery so you can see that. And then I'm going to pack it all back in there again. And then when I'm done, I'm going to probably tell you things I did not like about the project, things I might do differently. Of course, in the comments, you can let us know what you think as well. But this is a vast improvement over charging our battery on the bench top. So as you can see in here, I've got, my cord is in here. My charger pack. My battery. My cable that goes between my charger pack and my charger. So here's the foam that I cut to put all that in. So I'm going to take that out and just set that aside. And my charger. Like I said, when you cut the holes in your own foam, go ahead and trace out your own equipment, make it fit your stuff. We just did what we had here. So what I'm doing now is I'm just getting things hooked up. Just take me a minute. I just want to show you, from start to finish, how we set it up, how we charge, how we pack it away when we're done, things of that nature. I'm just pulling this cable out a little bit, put it in my charger. I've got my my balancing cable for the battery. All right, there's that. Just kind of let that set. Charger. The charger, you won't see it. It'll be behind the box, plugged into the cord. So I'm going to get this plugged into the back here. Probably heard my charger beep when I plugged it in. I'll go ahead and get my battery set up for the charge. Plugging that in. Now down at the bottom of the box, I've got my little circuit board with the balancing charge. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in now. And the battery charger is showing you my overall voltage, 12.35. And you can see it's a 3-cell battery. They're all basically the same, 4.1 something. So I'll go ahead and start charging it. It doesn't need a charge, but I just want to show you. All right, there we go, we're charging. So that's the whole setup here. Now, of course, the big concern, the reason we built this whole thing is, what if this battery catches on fire. Now, I'll be honest with you, if they don't have any physical damage, they probably won't catch on fire. If you have crashed your airplane or your RC car or whatever you're using this battery and then you've damaged the battery, it's more likely to catch on fire due to that mechanical damage. I do also want to mention with the balanced battery cells, if they're grossly out of balance and you're charging this without the balance wire connected, then one of those cells is going to get overcharged and it might physically rupture, and then when the chemistry mixes, start a fire. So you can do a lot of things to be safe. You know, don't use batteries that are physically damaged. Don't have your balancing wire disconnected. And then, of course, the whole point of this thing was this box. You know, now I can go ahead and I can lock it. And, you know, if there is a fire, it's contained in that fire retardant box. Again, it's not fireproof. And right now, if this thing were to catch on fire, I'd probably pull these wires out that charger, grab this box by the handle, and throw it right out in the yard. Heck, I might even use this thing to charge outside in the driveway where it's not even in the house. But do yourself a favor. Take a look at YouTube and Google and, you know, search for lithium battery fires, things of that nature. You'll see a couple examples that'll probably scare you enough to let you know that you need to do a project like this. So that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead and let you watch me pack it away, and we will be done. Okay, I've stopped the charger. I'll go ahead and open the box up here. Just unplugging everything. Now you'll notice in my foam, I did have a cutout spot for the battery. You don't necessarily have to keep the battery in there. I just wanted it to be there in case it was needed. By the way, I was going to talk about things I didn't like. I'm going to talk about one of them right now, this foam. This foam is nice and hard. Makes it great to cut it. I actually used a hacksaw blade. I could just stab through it and then saw with the hacksaw blade to cut this. It was great. But there's little tiny pieces of this stuff everywhere, and I hate it. I think what I'm going to probably do later is I'm going to get some spray paint actually and spray paint this just to kind of make the foam adhere better and have it so that those little pieces don't come flying off now that we're done cutting and the project is complete. However, you could use different kinds of foam as well. So if you're going to build this yourself, think about that foam a little bit. You might want to do something different than what we did. Charger block for my charger. Here's my charger itself, charge controller, I guess you could call it. Battery. So this wire, I'll tip this up so you can see. I'm going to just put it, there's a little slot here, I'm just going to put it in there. And this is the wire that goes between my charger and my charger block. I'll just hide this in here as well. And then last but not least, the AC power cord goes between the wall outlet of my charger. Put that in there. All right, almost done here. So I'm eager to see your comments, what you think of this project. If you think, I definitely think it's better than just charging your batteries on the workbench. I'm not saying it's perfect. I do think it's a good idea. Like I said, I don't really care for that foam we had. It was easy to work with, easy to cut, but there's a lot of little pieces of that stuff everywhere, and I'm going to have to spray paint it or something. Other than that, maybe I would put a label on here. It's this battery charge box. I don't know. You know, these wires do kind of stick out here. I guess you have to be a little careful not to bang them on stuff when you're carrying this. But in general, I like it because now that I'm done, I've got this box I can just carry around, put it in the closet. When we need it, we just grab it quickly. Now, I also want to apologize. During the video, I meant to have this cutting board in the rest of the video so that you could see the dimensions and the size of things. I'm just going to go ahead and measure this right now for you. So this is like 1.5 feet across. And if you do metric, that would be like 32 centimeters. And going back this way, oh, I'd say about 8.5 inches. We're talking about like, oh, let's just ballpark it, 21.5 centimeters. And then, you know, going this way, oh, probably 10 centimeters, or just roughly 4 inches, you know, ballparkish. So that's just to give you an idea. Size doesn't really matter. Get whatever size will fit your charging equipment, basically. This was an inexpensive one that I got online. Like I said, check the show notes. We'll have a parts list in there. You don't have to buy your stuff where I bought it. This stuff's available pretty much anywhere. All right, thanks for watching, and give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and a comment would be appreciated. Thank you.